what if the real secret to unlocking your physical potential isn't about staying perfectly stable? What if it's actually about embracing instability?
Hmm.
Today, we're going to dig deep into something called logic workout, and its really interesting core idea, the reactive falling effect.
That's right. And for this deep dive, we're looking at some pretty compelling stuff. There's a recent physics paper from Arkhov, and we've also got the description from the Logic Workout app itself. So the mission today is really to see how this method kind of flips conventional fitness ideas on their head and apparently gets some surprising results.
Sizing results for performance and pain relief, which is quite the combo.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, so let's get into logic workout itself. It's described as this novel training method using small fit balls, and it was designed by a French engineer, Paul.
That's the story, yeah.
Yeah.
He apparently developed it for his own rehab after some pretty serious injuries.
Wow, an engineer fixing himself with his own invention. That's quite something. But, instability training gets a mixed reception sometimes. What makes this specific approach so different?
Well, the key thing they talk about is radical dynamic instability. It's not just a bit wobbly. They say it comes from three things happening together on the fitball.
Yeah.
Rolling,
Yeah.
the ball actually deforming under load,
Right.
and its elastic rebound. So that mix creates what they've called the reactive falling effect.
Reactive falling effect. Sounds intense.
It basically forces your body to make constant, tiny, real-time adjustments. It wakes up those innate balance systems, those deep neuromuscular pathways.
Yeah, brain-muscle connection stuff.
Exactly, in a way that, maybe other training doesn't quite reach.
How does this compare to, say, BOSU or rocker boards, TRX, even just lifting weights where you're pretty anchored?
Yeah, that's the point they make. Those other methods often give you some kind of fixed pivot point or limit the directions of instability. Logic workout seems to deliberately not do that.
Okay.
It sort of magnifies the need for really precise force control and constant stabilizing work from your body. These micro adjustments are what supposedly activate those deeper pathways and refine your reactive abilities.
And this brings us to the science bit, right?
Hmm.
That Arkhus paper, it mentioned preliminary results from, 18 people?
Yeah, a small cohort, but the results were interesting. They found surprising improvements in strength and performance.
Which kind of goes against the grain, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Usually people think instability training makes it harder to produce power.
It does seem counterintuitive. The idea, I think, is that by constantly forcing your nervous system to fire precisely to stop you from falling, your body gets incredibly efficient at recruiting muscles.
Ah, so it's less about the weight lifted during the unstable exercise and more about making the nervous system smarter overall.
That seems to be the hypothesis. Better neural drive, which then helps in other strength activities.
And the app claims reflect that big time. They talk about weightlifters gaining, 15% strength in just 4 hours of added logic workout. That sounds fast.
It does sound remarkably fast. And then, supposedly, up to 30% within 3 months. These are reported gains, of course, likely from very consistent users.
Still impressive numbers.
Yeah.
And you mentioned anecdotes.
Yeah, there's a user who reported going from lifting 28 kilograms to 44 kilograms per arm in 3 months.
Wow, per arm.
And they also mentioned increased flexibility. That's a significant jump.
Okay, performance gains are one thing, but you also mentioned pain relief and recovery. The paper pointed to complete resolution of chronic pain and better functional mobility.
That seems to be a major focus. They position it as an injury prevention marvel. The idea is that this deep reactive stabilization automatically finds and strengthens your weak spot.
The ones maybe missed by more traditional exercises.
Potentially, yeah. And again, the creator's own story about recovering from severe injuries is central to this aspect.
Right. And that user you mentioned, they also said their shoulder pain vanished.
That was part of their review, yes. Disappeared after using Logic Workout. For anyone with nagging pain, that's obviously a very appealing claim.
So how do people actually do this? Through the app?
Yeah, the Logic Workout Reactive Fitness app. It sounds pretty well designed, actually.
Yeah.
User-friendly, it gives you tailored workouts based on your level and goals.
So it adapts.
Apparently so. Sessions have, 4 exercises that progress. They even describe it almost like a game, moving from entry level up to master for performance or pain relief tracks.
And the convenience factor seems big, too. People with busy lives, young mothers using it for 10 minutes, someone else getting a six-pack with just 3 minutes a day.
Those are some of the claims highlighted, yeah. Speaks to the potential efficiency if those short bursts really target the right system so intensely.
3 minutes a day for a six-pack?
Yeah.
That'll get some attention.
No doubt.
Okay, so wrapping this up, Logic Workout leverages this extreme instability, this reactive falling effect, to offer potentially enhanced performance, serious pain relief, and a different route to fitness.
It really is a different way of thinking about training stability.
Definitely. It's a shift from just bracing to constantly reacting.
Which leads to maybe a final thought for you listening. What if adapting to maximal instability rather than always trying to anchor ourselves is actually the key? The key to unlocking untapped potential and refining how our bodies stabilize in ways that maybe traditional methods just can't.